Well, footing the climate change bill can involve payments from high-emitting industrialised countries to developing countries to capture and store carbon, to reduce emissions or to invest in clean technologies. This doesn't absolve us of our domestic responsibilities to reduce emissions, but the climate change challenge is going to involve lots and lots of approaches, and payments to developing countries is certainly one of them. But I want to focus on how these payments operate and how they relate to pressing development challenges. In short, I think we need to ask, will they help the poor or worsen poverty? Here, dramatically different outcomes depend not just on what's done, but on how it's done. Take, for instance, RED, or reducing emissions from deforestation and degradation, which is due to be one of the hot topics in Copenhagen. As currently conceived, this involves payments to developing countries to leave forests well alone, to reduce unsustainable logging, to invest in conservation measures, and so on. And this can involve high mitigation benefits for really very, very little cost. Yet tropical forests are of course also home to 70 million plus people who depend on their products for their livelihoods. And RED schemes can very easily marginalise and weaken the land and resource rights of those people, leaving them more impoverished and more marginalised. Recent research, inspired by Nobel Prize-winning economist Lynn Ostrom, has shown that enhanced carbon mitigation benefits and livelihood benefits tend to follow local ownership and autonomy in rule-making around forest management. In short, when communities have control, they will conserve. Yet, these issues are not currently on the RED agenda, and most schemes envisage payments to governments. Questions of tenure and questions of community control badly need to be part of the RED discussions. So, in short, carbon payments, I believe, can stimulate win-win pathways in which climate change mitigation and livelihood benefits go hand in hand. But it depends on what is done, how it's done, and who controls the process. Questions of governance. I think it's really important that in the urgency of rushing to tackle climate change, we don't forget that there are real choices to be made about these things, about the directions and pathways that we pursue. And that we shouldn't forget the many lessons accumulated over decades from development of what works in tackling environmental issues and linking them to questions of poverty reduction and social justice.